Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to the live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. Thank you all for stopping by. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is y'all are watching this. I appreciate you all for stopping by the stream, or if you're watching back the VOD, either way, thank you all. So we are getting relatively close to having our create post modal kind of done. We need to wrap up what's going down inside of our drafts first, and then we can start working on kind of like the scuff styles and stuff like that that's going on inside. We actually need to make some draft posts first. So let's create a draft post. Okay. And then let's go ahead and close out this and save it. And then let's go ahead and make a scheduled post. Let's also create a scheduled post. Let's go ahead and schedule this. So we need to move this guy up. That's going to be something different. If I ever come back and refactor this, I'll probably like play around with having this like be a placeholder or something, because you're obviously not supposed to see this. And actually I think on Twitter they just hide it as well, so we just need to like pull this guy up, because I can kind of see it on Twitter, how I can see. Actually, I don't know what that's actually saying on Twitter, because this one said good morning, but I don't know. We have an issue with this guy as well. I don't think it's this. I think it's other places converting dates, because right now you can see that this is supposed to say AM, so that's another small bug. Let's just say like 20th at 5 AM. Sure. Confirm. So this part is fine, but whenever you click back in here, it's actually working. It must be whenever we convert it. Interesting. It must be whenever we convert it, whenever we load the draft post. But anyway, so now this says we'll send on Monday. We need to see where this will send on Monday comes from. Oh, do you see that it changed from 5 AM to 5 PM? Oh, that's because we click on this and for some reason it's defaulting. Interesting. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and confirm 5 AM. Sure. Go ahead and post this, and this will be a draft now. Cool. So now, if we come into our post, go into our drafts. I don't even remember how we get to our scheduled. Because the whole reason that we are working on this is because we are like doing like, we found like if you click on, maybe it's like this. But yeah, it's in scheduled posts. There we go. So now something that I just noticed is that whenever there's a scheduled one, we actually need to see will send on whatever Friday. So we need to see how we're doing that, or maybe I'll just like copy paste it, because I think technically it's slightly different. But yeah, now you can see it says April 22nd instead of April 20th. So like, whenever we load in that post, something's getting scuffed. But let's go ahead and say, let's create another scheduled post to yoink the timing. Okay, schedule it. Sure, whatever. Confirm. And I want to, inspect, and unfortunately, now it's gonna play dumb. Probably not gonna be able to actually grab this. Whenever I click discard, it's gonna close out of it. Let's try this again. Let's create, another scheduled post, and we can move this up. That's fine. Put this at 5 AM. We need to probably check like if it's AM or PM. That's fine. Click on this. So what is this guy called? This is called feed post creator scheduled. Let's go ahead and hop into our front end and take a look at this. So let's go into our feed post creator. Creator. And then let's see here. So this is called feed post creator scheduled. And then public. Cool. We are setting public. I wanted to make sure that we could actually post whenever we actually save this. Okay, so here's what this looks like. I think we just yoink this. I don't know if you can click on it. You cannot click on it, so we'll get rid of the on click. And let's just yoink this. And then let's hop into our post. And this is our draft post. And then let's see here. I guess we could use the same logic that one was using. Let's also delete this. Okay. And let's go back to our feed post creator. I'm just going to use the same exact logic if it's not a reply and it's scheduled and has a schedule date. Probably don't need the is reply, but it is what is. And then this will go on top of where the content is. Put it inside the content. Put it in here. I don't know if we need to wrap the content in a div. We'll find out pretty quickly here. So do we not have, I think it's just called post. I'm gonna say like post. I don't know if is reply is post dot, let's see here. Replies, repost, reply to. I'll check that. If we don't have a reply to, we'll check if post.scheduled, and we'll check for post.scheduled post, and all of those should be fine. We are not going to have an on click on this, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We'll go ahead and import that, and then we can also go ahead and stringify that, and then this is going to be post.schedule date. And then I don't know, we'll also go ahead and call this draft post scheduled. I don't know if we need to change the CSS any. We come up to our feed post creator and find the CSS for draft or for scheduled. So it's not gonna have a hover. We might need to change the sizing and the font weight. I think it is slightly smaller. So let's go ahead and come into the CSS here and paste this in. Now this will be draft post scheduled. And then let's see what this looks like. I'm guessing that the style that this is, no, it is 13. I think we do need to go ahead and say font dash weight on this is 400 though. Okay, so now if we just close out of this, we don't need to save that. Go into our drafts, scheduled, interesting. Why is this not working? Check our Redux. Put in a window. We have a private post. Want our state. There we go. User and oh, whoops, wrong thing. User and scheduled. Scheduled is true and it has a scheduled date. So why is this not displaying? Not reply to and post.scheduled. Just make sure it's saved. Refresh maybe. Or maybe it's hidden, I don't know. Post drafts scheduled. Draft post content. Our post definitely has, unless post has a reply to for some reason. Let's just assume that it's definitely not going to have that. And I think we are going to wrap this in a div just to make sure it wraps properly. So let's go ahead and do that as well, because it's just a list of spans. Go and deal with that as well. See if I get rid of is reply to. Broke it. Interesting. Date.get day is not a function. Okay. Now our stringified date is broken. So now we'll go ahead and we need to basically do something like we did This is gonna break our... This is what breaks our thing, I think, is converting this to a new date. I think we need to, like, I don't know, take this date, break it apart, and like figure out some way to turn this back into the proper date. Because I think that whenever we say new date, it's deconstructing it improperly. So this one says April 20th at 10 p.m. Yeah, so like I think whenever we're deconstructing these dates and then re-putting them together, that's what's breaking it. I think they're coming back from Java as like a string. We click on this, and change this back to 5 a.m. instead of 5 p.m. And I don't know why that switched to 19, whatever. Confirm, it says fine. Post it, we go back to our drafts. Yeah, it went back to 10 p.m. At least it's not changing it completely, but this is like I think this is like a time zone issue at this point, because we had it set at 5 a.m. but it's still on April 20th, so this is some type of time zone issue. We might add a small bit of padding to the top of this guy, or bottom. Maybe we'll add some padding to the, or margin to the bottom of this to space it out. So let's do that. Come into here. Here we'll just do a margin on the bottom. It says like 4px, so that'll probably be fine. Oops. Bottom 4px. I do have it written down to work on the dates. So this part's done. And then let's see here. Really, I should move some of the stuff. So like, I have like some work in a list over here. So like really this stuff we need to move to like feed post creator work. So like reply, who can reply is scuffed. So that inside the work to do on here, the image sizing is cut off. And then create poll spacing is scuffed. This is scuffed on everything, but so now the last thing we need to do for our, and I think scheduled post opens the draft schedule modal is working, because if we come in here, click on this, and then click on scheduled post, it opens up scheduled, so that is also working and done. Right? Now scheduled post is like a whole different thing. So now that means that the last thing that we have to do inside of our draft post, let's also see if we can send this. So if we click on create, 500 post internal server error, that's not great. Okay, so we might need to look at what's going on with this. Let's see. So failed, null pointer, boolean, create post, get scheduled is null. Okay, so we need to check get scheduled, I guess. Or actually, I'm guessing that we didn't set scheduled right inside of get out of here. So feed post creator, I'm assuming that whenever we click on create post, let's see here. So scheduled, we'll try that, and we'll refresh the app. Okay, so that means that if we refresh this, that shouldn't have went through, and we should still have a post that's in draft state. Yep. Now let's try to send this again. Okay, that one went through. We want to make sure that if we refresh this, we're gonna work on debouncing that. Should still be here. Okay, it did in fact go through. Cool, so we can actually send the post as well. So like the last thing that we need to do inside this draft. We need to see like where we're setting this create posting. Click on drafts. I want to, I think, pull that up a little bit to like equal where the other modal goes as well. But the last thing that we need to be able to do is be able to click on edit, select this, and then click delete. Delete doesn't do anything. So first things first, on the back end, I don't think I have anything inside of our post service to delete anything, so we need to check that. Also, I should really get around to a get ignore and just like get ignore image. Let's see here. Didn't work though. Although I think it's ignoring these now. What if I say slash image slash? It's really, I'd like the whole folder kind of get ignored. I think these are getting ignored now. Like, how we get ignoring target? Yeah, it's just target slash. I think it's because maybe we already have stuff inside image. I can go through and delete that. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, go back to our source main, Java, com, footer, services, and our pro service. I don't think we have any way to delete these. Let's just double check though. We have a create post. We have a update, repost. We might have a delete. I don't know. Bookmark. And maybe we should have called update post, but it is what it is. Really, update and save do the same exact thing, so it doesn't really matter all that much. So we have a delete post, like one singular post. We could do this. Public void delete selected posts. And pass in an integer, list of integer, and this will be post IDs, right? And then we can fetch those posts because I don't want any stupid like issues where it's like, oh, this isn't a real object, blah blah blah. It's annoying as hell. So we'll say list of post, post is equal to our post repo.find all by ID, and then pass in those post IDs. And then we can go ahead and say like, I guess we won't just delete a single one because we can say like post repo dot, I'm assuming there's a delete all. We can actually delete all by ID. That'll make it even easier, honestly. We don't even need to do anything. We can just do this. It makes it super easy. Then let's go into the controller. Side post controller, let's make a delete. Delete mapping, what do we want to call this? Slash selected. That's not a great name, but it is what it is. Public response entity of type string, and then we'll go ahead and say delete post. And honestly, like, kind of want to just return back I kind of want to like return an integer array or a list of integers. And then take in an at request body of a list of integers posts, and then we'll say post service dot delete selected post and pass in those posts, but integer wrong. Okay, and then we'll return a new response entity, and we're just gonna pass back of a list of integer. We're just gonna literally pass back those posts, and then we'll say HTTP status. I don't think OK is the right thing to put there, but whatever. We'll just return those, and then that's how we'll go ahead and remove them from our scheduled and or other thing. Scheduled and or draft. Okay, so let's restart this for giggles. Okay, we're restarted. Now obviously, if we refresh, that's gonna be gone. Let's just try to delete a couple of like posts. Like we'll try to do like one, and well, actually we can't yet because we need to actually do the work to delete said post. So on the front end, in our draft post modal, we need to, I guess, set up our async thunk first inside of our post slice. Slices, post slice v2. So what do we want to do here? Let's go ahead and create our interface for delete selected post. So go ahead and take in a post IDs, which is a number array. We'll take in our token, which is a string. We could have grabbed the token elsewhere, but it's fine. It is what it is. I think that should be fine. I don't think that we'll need anything else. Let's come down here and delete this. It's causing issues. Okay. Okay, it's just fine. So come below this guy. Work const and delete selected post equal to create async thunk. Open this up, post slash delete selected async, and then we'll have our body, which is going to be a delete selected post body. I'm going to rename that and our thunk API. Rename this. Now this will be delete selected post body. Maybe I should have called it payload. My naming conventions are not great. Oh well. So now we have our delete selected post. Here we'll set a try and a catch. Okay, we'll say const res is equal to await axios.delete, and then literally we can just go ahead and say HTTP. We don't need to do that. HTTP : // host 8000 post slash and then selected. Is that what we called it? And then we can just go ahead and pass the body dot post IDs. Hopefully that works. Set up our headers. And then here we'll go ahead and have our authorization, backticks, and bear, and $ curly brace. This will be body.token. Okay, and then we'll just return res.data. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and return thunk API.reject with value. What is your problem, brother? This should be fine. Doesn't want this to be an object. Okay, so we're going to update the payload. Let's go ahead and update the payload on our backend. It wants this to be an object. I swear I've done something similar to this. But maybe I haven't. But let's go into our DTOs, I guess. Kind of silly. And we'll go ahead and say delete selected post request. Let's actually create it the proper way. Space JC, this in DTO. And then go ahead and call this delete selected post request. There we go. And then here it's literally going to have one thing, private list of integer, and we'll go ahead and call this posts. Cool. And then go ahead and do this stuff. Import our list first. Excuse me for a second. So I had to cough. Okay, so now we have that. Let's do this. Oops. Oh my goodness. Go and do our constructor. Go and do our getters and setters. Go and do a toString. Whoops. Mess that up. Generate. There we go. Alright. Looks good enough for me. Clean this up a little bit. We need to clean up our controller then. Post controller. So now this is going to go ahead and take in our delete selected post request and post, what's called body actually. We'll take in the body, body.get and get our post, and the rest of that is fine. And then we'll also return back body.get post. Oops. No, that's fine. And I'll restart the server real quick just for giggles. Maybe. Okay. Now on the front end, we can go ahead and make the body. We can go ahead and say post is body dot post. I think that's why it was mad at us. It is. Okay, that's fine. And this is kind of ugly. So let's say const and request payload equal to post body.post IDs. Okay. Okay, I guess it's still mad at us. Axios delete. We will request payload. Now it's fine. Okay. Let's also double check in our controller. It's called dash selected. Terrific. So that should be good to go. Did this ever reset? I think it did. Try this again. Okay. Now, I'm not going to worry about ending or anything, I don't think. I think we'll just go ahead and do a fulfilled here. Generation like with classes, or because it's actually a NeoVim plugin I wrote myself, but it is publicly available and open source. Let's see here. So it'll come under this one. It will say builder dot add case. If you're interested, I can actually link you a video for it. And this one is delete selected post dot fulfilled. And we'll go ahead and have our state and action. And then here, interesting. I never did to do, but I think that is updated actually. I think I just didn't delete the update. So we're gonna have our const deleted IDs is gonna equal to. Oh, that's that's the language server. 1 second, give me 1 sec here, and I can link you a video on how I got it all set up. So let's just grab deleted IDs real quick. It's going to be action.payload. That should be an array. Okay, now I can grab it real quick. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. My video is a little old. I plan to make a new one in the future and like update and stuff, but for now, let's see here. It's a pretty long video, but so this will actually take you through the exact setup I have. And also, I can send you my exact setup as well. The only thing is if you're using like bare Windows, you're gonna have a little bit of an issue with like the JDTLS. Guess I didn't push my config changes. I did have like one small config change. Oh wait, this is because it's my wrong. Let me switch to my primary, that's why. Okay. I was gonna say this didn't update. Repositories, there we go. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I updated my. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't say updated. Okay, I guess I didn't push it. But this is the NeoVim config that I'm running right now as well. It does have a couple small updates. I also need to check my my PRs inside of the Spring Boot NVim, just to make sure I don't have any PRs open. I do have a few PRs open, but I have let people do some open source work on it. But yep, that's everything I'm using. I need to get better at NeoVim or Vim in general. I'm not really a power user. The only reason I switched over to Vim was to get my hands on the keyboard more, because whenever I was recording like Let's Build Twitter, my my typing skills were just horrid. So I was like, if I just force myself to have my hands on my keyboard the whole time instead of using like VS Code or whatever, maybe I'll get better at typing. Yeah, no problem. All right. And the generation for Java and stuff, that's going to be the JDTLS. And then the generation for like classes, like you saw whenever I did this. Like whenever I do like this is the package that I built, which is why it isn't centered and it's kind of jank, but yep, it is what it is. It works though. So and with the Spring Boot in Vim, you can also like run the class. I think someone implemented like a creation from the Spring Boot IO thing, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so now let's go ahead and say const. Perfect. Yeah. The more complicated stuff, you just need to watch closely. I think some people said they had some issues with closing terminal, but I think if you just watch it like literally line by line, you should be okay. And there might be some debugging and stuff. And also, like, if you have any issues, like, I'm not an expert, I just kind of shared what I use. ChatGPT can basically fix everything if you have an issue, so that's what I do now, because I set up that configuration like 2 years ago. I need to really watch it back and probably update mine, but see what's new in the world of NVim. Do that once a year. But anyhow, so now we're going to say filtered drafts is equal to state dot, and we'll say drafts. Shoot. Okay, we're gonna have to make a this might need to go. This might actually just call something inside of this. How do we want to deal with this? We probably want to delete drafts and delete any that are on our profile. This might actually need to call something inside of our user service, because our post state's not going to have what we need. This is just for creating post. Like, this isn't actually going to help us here. No, you're good, man. That's why I'm here, to hang out, to chat, all of that good stuff. I appreciate chatting with you. Hopefully it helps you out. And then now this is broken again. Why are you broken? You're literally just fine, my guy. Export constantly selected post. Should be able to take in headers. I don't know why you're being a pain in the ass. Is Axios borked? What are we doing, man? It's an async function. Config, any, or undefined. Delete can take in objects, so why are we playing like this? Can delete? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I stupid? Can delete not take in a body? That doesn't seem right. Let's see, Axios.delete. I don't know if I have any other delete. This one also just takes in a specific list ID. Maybe I'm stupid. I'm 99% sure you can put in a body. You can technically create a body, but the body has no defined semantics. Okay. Yeah, so you can include a body. I don't want to make, I guess we're going to have to make a million requests to just delete post. I don't love that. So what we're going to do in our post slice, so I guess on our back end, we're going to delete delete selected. We don't need it. And I don't really want to pass the entire post because I'm worried that it's not going to work properly. But it's probably fine, I guess. Delete this. We don't need this. We don't need to make any changes for this. But on the front end, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to say delete. It's going to be backticks. Backticks. And now this is going to, instead of taking in a list of post IDs, I'm going to say post. I think this is how we have this set up. $. No, wait. We're going to have to change that as well. This is going to have to be body.postid. Let's change the body. Let's go ahead and change this body. See, like if I was more efficient with Vim, I'd probably be just jumping all around. But okay, so now we can go ahead and add in the headers. So delete post. And let's actually just call this delete post. So I'm going to delete one. We have our post ID, and then we can go ahead and pass in this. And then we can say headers, and then our authorization. And this is going to be backticks, bear, $, curly brace. And then this is going to be, I think we called it body. Yeah, body.token. Okay. So now we have delete post. And really, this needs to return we need to get back to const post ID is equal to, actually we have the post ID, right? So like then we need to like say like thunk API dot dispatch, and then we need to go ahead and like dispatch across like where these are listed at. I'm assuming like profile slice is gonna have some. I'm assuming that like we basically need to blast out a bunch of delete requests, right? So like this post slice doesn't actually like do anything. So like this delete post fulfilled won't really do anything. Like on success, we need to like go into like our user slice. I'm assuming profile slice has, let's see here, post as well. Yeah, so like we need to delete these and maybe any of these. And then notifications, I think that's different. I'm not sure. And it should like, it shouldn't orphan anything. And like communities, we're probably, I'm assuming that we're gonna cascade delete everything. That depends on a post. So like explore slice, you might need to clean that out. Oops. Feed slice we'll probably need to clean out. Although I don't think feed slice is gonna matter. I think what I'm worried about is profile. And well, even then I think that's fine. I think if we delete a post, I think let's just deal with profile slice. So here, this is gonna do this. And if we have any issues, we'll deal with it later. But basically we need to delete. It really doesn't matter, I guess, because this also loads. I think we might actually be fine. I guess we do need to, the only thing we need to worry about is the draft post or the private post. Because if we actually navigate over to the profile, it's going to reload the posts anyway. Same with all the other stuff. So we really just need to worry about, where's our normal reduces? Here we go. And I'm in the wrong slice. We want the user slice. I was going to say, where the hell is my stuff at? Really, what we need to worry about is just removing it from the draft post, because we might not even need to worry about that. Yes, we do, because we're not reloading it. Okay, I know I'm all over the place. So we need to go ahead and say delete, and we'll call this delete private post. And we could probably take the entire array in here. We could probably take the entire array in here. We could probably dispatch this by itself. So we could probably say state action payload action number array. Although it'll probably be easier to do it the other way, but we'll go ahead and say const and filtered drafts is equal to state.drafts dot, and then we'll go ahead and say filter, and then we'll go ahead and say draft, and then I think we'll say not draft.sum, or not say drafts, or state.drafts dot sum d, where d dot and then post id is equal to maybe we'll say not equal to draft.draft id, draft.post id actually. So we'll filter the ones that don't match, and then we'll go say scheduled post is equal to same thing, state.scheduled dot filter and scheduled, scheduled, and then we'll say state.scheduled dot, and then we'll say sum s, we'll say s dot post id is not equal to the scheduled dot post id. And then maybe we clean this up a little bit. Whoops. Okay, we could probably make this some sort of function here, but it is what it is. Then we'll go ahead and return our state, and then we'll go ahead and say drafts is our filtered drafts, and our scheduled is our filtered. Make sure we say filtered scheduled, filtered scheduled, and let's make sure we have our comma, and we should be good. Okay, let's go ahead and export that. So now what we'll do is we'll have to individually make all of the I'm gonna call that with an S. We're going to individually make the API calls, and we can make them like all at once basically. Here we'll just do this in one foul swoop. And then in post slice v2 we can clean this up. Whenever we delete this, we'll just return the data. We won't really even care about this, to be honest. Okay. Now this is where we're going to deal with like the schedule date. We're going to have to like break the schedule date apart probably, and then make sure that we have each individual piece correct, because there's like some conversion going on here. But okay. So now in our draft post modal, we have our selected, we should have selected post somewhere. We have editing, active tab. Let's see. Yes, we have selected for deletion, which is a post array. Now we have delete selected post. This is going to need to be I don't know that it needs to be an async. We don't really need to wait for it. Let's say const. Let's just go ahead and create the ID array. Const selected, or say post IDs is equal to selected for deletion, and then dot map e dot post ID. And selected. What did I call this? Am I stupid? Called selected for deletion. Okay. There we go. So now we have a post IDs. Now we'll say const delete post dispatches equal to post IDs dot map. I guess this works. The ID. I'm actually gonna wrap this. Well, I guess I don't need to. And really, I could say like, I mean, I guess I could make this async and say await. Don't really need to await this, but promise all. And then here we can say post IDs dot map. This is kind of yucky. And we need to check for if we need our user state. Let's grab our token out of here as well. Our logged in and our token. So now if logged in, really, I don't think we need to check for logged in, but I kind of like to make sure that the user's logged in. So if the user's logged in and they have a token, they post IDs map, and we'll dispatch. I don't have a dispatch in here either. I'm assuming I have dispatch up here though, so I might as well pass it. Yeah, I might as well pass dispatches app dispatch into this guy, so I don't have to reuse this. I'll go ahead and say dispatch of app dispatch, just trying to reuse what I have instead of re-importing stuff that I don't need to. And then here we'll dispatch our delete selected or delete post from our post slice v2, and we'll pass in the PID. We'll pass in the PID. In theory, that should work. Although we need to pass in the post ID as PID and then the token. It works. So assuming that's successful, which I don't really care if it's successful, I guess, we'll also go ahead and dispatch the delete post, selected post from our, should be one from user slice, right? Delete private post from the user slice, pass in the post IDs, and that'll go ahead and delete those. So then we'll make post, we'll delete them asynchronously, and then delete them off of our local state as well. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. So now whenever we delete selected post, it should hit the API first. And maybe we should wait until it's like successful, but I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. Although we never updated the backend. So this now needs to say ID. And then this needs to be at path variable. Maybe if I could type path variable. Oh my goodness, this is why I use Vim. Try to fix this crap. ID, integer ID, and then now this needs to take in an ID, and now we need to fix delete post. Yes, I know. Okay, delete post now needs to take in a integer post ID, and then we can say delete by ID. Pass in that post ID. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to restart the application anyway for good measures here. And if delete post works, we will probably take a quick break to grab some coffee. Oh, and our post draft modal content is broken. Actually, go ahead and pass that data that it wants. Also, this is mad at us because it doesn't like this, so we'll do this. We'll wrap this in this, and then wrap this and that. Doesn't like that mixing. There we go. Okay, so now in here, dispatch will equal to dispatch. All right. Now let's create a couple of draft posts, and we'll fix these issues at some point. So now, click on post. Let's create a draft post. Let's create another draft post to delete. Let's create, create a scheduled post. Go and schedule it. Sure. Post. Let's create a scheduled post. Whoops. Post to delete. We'll delete one at a time, and then we'll delete multiple at a time. Okay, so now we have our post. Click on post drafts. We click on edit. We can go ahead and click on this. Click on delete. Delete probably wants to click on, also wants to like say like done editing or whatever, but let's actually see. I'm gonna look at what Twitter does. So actually refresh my drafts. Okay, I have random things here. If I click edit, click this, delete. Okay, so it's gonna pop up another thing. Of course it is. So we just did all of that work for no reason. I love that for us. Gosh dang it, man. Of course. Okay. So we did all that work for no reason. I'm gonna run to the restroom, grab another drink of coffee, and I'll be right back. And then whenever we get back, we'll work on the rest of this.
Shots with a broken spleen, yeah. I'm blessed with the mess you leave, yeah. It's hard to stop me, yeah. So I don't wanna know the things that you left in my brain. Starting all over again, only put it away, not even back in my face, I'm done with all that you can say, So leave me alone, 'cause I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know where you go. I don't wanna know. Yeah, it was an illusion now. You're leaving all the doors locked out. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna know.
Qu'est-ce qui m'arrive? Qu'est-ce que je représente? Qui je suis, putain? Va falloir que je me lève. Que je recommence à zéro.
Alright, so now we need to build out a we need to build out another modal to go on top of this. It needs to be built like our other one. So it needs to be built like the save draft post, basically. Probably gonna be the same size, same width, same everything, I would bet. 320 by 260, yeah. Basically the same thing, no top bar content, nothing. So let's go ahead and inside of our post components, go ahead and say discard post modal.tsx, actually slash discard post modal, there we go, .tsx, and then a discard post modal.css. And I'm gonna copy this because I'm a lazy sack of crap, and we'll rename stuff. Okay. Describe post modal, import React from React, import our dot slash, and then whoops, discard post modal.css. Paste this in. So now this will go ahead and be our discard post modal. Discard post modal. We'll go ahead and do this. Do this. Whoops. Do this. And then this will be our discard post modal content. Import our bottomless modal. If I go back in time, I'll just like make one modal that just ignores, like has top bar content, all of that stuff optional, and then just ignores if it's not there. So, but it is what it is. Okay. Now in our modal slice, we need to add a display. I don't think we need anything special for this. Display discard draft post, sure, boolean, and then update this down here. Display, and this will be post or discard post draft. Start out as false, and we'll go ahead and do this. Update display discard post draft state, and then return state display discard post draft post. Let's actually do this in the same order. Draft post, okay, be not state dot display discard draft post. Let's make sure we have this, and let's also go ahead and export this. So update display discard draft post, and then inside of our modal components modal container const display discard draft post is equal to use selector state root state. We're going to try to speed run making this modal. State dot modal dot display discard post draft post. Go down here, display discard draft post, and our discard draft post discard post modal. Okay, and then come back into here, discard post modal, const discard post modal content. Make sure we spell this right. Say react.fc arrow function. I don't think this needs to take in any data. And like really, we can more or less yoink the code from here. I don't know if we need all of this, but we'll see here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring in use selector and root state. Definitely need an app dispatch. This I don't know if we need. I'm gonna comment this out for now. We definitely don't need save draft. We will need discard draft. This was probably the slowest way I could have done this. But oh well. I don't know if we need close both modals, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this and comment this out. We definitely need this discard draft, and then this will basically delete post logic. We need to bring that in, and then here this one, if we cancel, we'll definitely just go ahead and say update display and discard draft post and import that. Okay, so now we don't need the save, and then here this can always just be read. How do we want to do this? We need to obviously clean this out. Button, and then we'll say do this actually. Just gonna go ahead and say delete. This one will still say cancel. We still say button outlined. And this one can be. See, I want to say like, let's do this first. So now this would be discard draft. And then discard draft. Discard draft. Discard draft. And then discard draft. Button. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say card dash, and let's do this to make it look a little bit nicer. Should really install class names, but it is what it is. It makes it a lot nicer. So have discard draft post modal button, then we'll have button outlined to be discard draft post modal button delete, maybe. I don't know. And we could probably call this cancel. Then we can share the button props or the CSS props we want to share here. And then here we'll go ahead and say discard unsent post. So we spell unsent right. There we go. And then here, let's go ahead and say this can't be undone. And you'll lose your unsent post. Okay, and then this says delete, this says this. And then we can come into import dispatch, maybe. I don't know why that won't import. Use dispatch. Go. I don't think we need reload point. I don't think we need this. Because if we cancel, we'll just close. If we delete, we'll just close, I think. I'm assuming. I don't know that we need reload point. I'll keep it just in case, I guess. Now we need to go into our draft post. Our draft post modal. And we need to come in here. We'll grab our delete. Which is just this logic. And this doesn't need to be async anymore. We mad us for a sec, that's fine. So this is where things get interesting. How are we gonna pass the post IDs? I just realized. I don't want to put them in local. I don't want to put them in state. That'd be silly. So we are gonna need to figure out how in the world to like get the post or the data here. Make this async. So yeah, we're gonna have to pass the post IDs. And really, we won't need to map it. I think we're gonna have to go into our modal slice. And update the state for this. I don't love, but what can you do? So instead of this being a boolean, we're gonna need to interface this. Export interface and display discard draft post props, and it's going to be shown boolean and posts, which is the number array. And then now this is going to be this display draft post display discard draft post props. And then now here our shown will be false to start and our post will be an empty array. And then we'll come in here and we'll say state, and then this will be, we'll have to have an action on this one. Payload action. This will be display discard draft post props. And this will be action.payload. Whoops. Which is fine, but now, excuse me, hiccups. In our modal container, this is going to say dot shown. That's fine. Now in here, I don't know if we need restore point, but we might also just do this and this, get rid of this, and then go ahead and say display discard draft post, and then here this will say shown false and post an empty array. And now our post IDs, const post IDs will equal to display this dot post. We can go ahead and import this and import that. We don't need this. Okay. And then now discard post and cancel. So I'm assuming cancel is just going to close out of this modal. Yep. If I click delete, it just closes this one thing. Yeah, so we don't need close both. We just need to dispatch delete private post. And then I guess if that works, we'll just go ahead and dispatch the same exact thing. Update display discard draft post. And then it does still have select, so that's fine. We're probably gonna need to unselect the post because it's not gonna exist anymore, so that's gonna be interesting. We'll see what type of shit show we got going on here whenever we're done with this. Why is this mad at us? Literally the same exact thing, brother. What is your problem? Did I break something? If, okay, that closes that. We're missing one of these. There we go. Okay, so now that works. We don't need this reload point. Get rid of that. Don't need this. We can get rid of this. Now we can go into our save drafts and we're going to yoink this because I'm a lazy sack of crap. I'm going to paste it. Now this will be guard. Draft post, card, draft post. This will be this card, draft post. Be discard, draft post. Now the button itself, we need to go ahead and say dot discard draft. Oops, draft post button. And modal button. So we're going to yoink this, yoink this, yoink this. And then the rest of these are custom, I believe. So then we'll grab button delete. I don't think we need this save. I think we can delete this. Although we probably do want the border none and border radius. Let's select another one to delete. So it is still white. Background color is just different. Honestly, we can take this. But I think we have a red one. We do have a red one. We might as well just yoink this one. Paste it in here. Like so, and then do a hover on this one. And then we can take the red hover. I've just renamed it. It's okay though. We also probably could have done some more to like reuse some more of this, but it is what it is. Don't need any of this. And now instead of outline, this will be cancel. And let's go rename this cancel as well. Okay. Get rid of this stuff. Okay. Now it should... Well, we need to actually open this. Let's also make sure we use this. We'll do this. Why is it saying it doesn't exist? Typoed something. I missed the C. Okay. All right. Now our draft post modal. Now we do this, we'll dispatch. So now we still need our const post IDs will equal to our selected for deletion dot map dot post ID. Then we're gonna go ahead and dispatch update display discard draft post. Shown will be true, and post will be post IDs. Then we'll open that. Try this again. Post, drafts. Go ahead and edit. Select this guy. Click delete. Here, cancel button is broken. I bet that I am having some logic hiding it. Am I a silly goose? I am. Okay. And the draft post modal button cancel. Did I spell something wrong? Must have spelled this wrong. I did. I forgot to change this. Really, we can add a border radius to both of those. Let's do that as well. If I fix this. Let's add the border radius to the shared button. This border radius. Okay. We can honestly share this as well. Share this. We could have technically shared the cursor pointer. I don't really care. Like, we could have done this as well. I don't know that I care that much, but I'll add it anyway. Okay. Honestly, like, that might be a little light for the background. And this actually gets darker when you hover over it instead of lighter, but I don't know that I care that much, to be honest with you. Now when I would delete this, it should just close this and delete that. 500 internal server error for delete. Update delete on post on notification. Okay. Yeah, so we need to cascade delete this. What I was worried about. Look at our models. The notification issue. Like there should be. Right, so like we should have like a cascade delete on this. Not delete. Not cascade. I haven't done Spring Boot stuff in a long time, so Spring Boot, cascade, delete, mini. Yeah, so the mini to 1 is gonna need, all of these probably need cascade delete, to be honest. Cascade is equal to cascade type dot remove. Oops. Let's do the same thing for our reply for now. We're probably gonna need to do this with more things than this. How's it going, Nick? Probably gonna need to do this more places than just here. But we'll see here. Okay. Let's see if this works or not. I was worried that this was going to happen. Okay. Now we got to recreate our draft post. Also, I don't know why it closed out of everything. That's kind of concerning. I don't know if it was a click outside or what's going down with that guy. So we stopped propagation, so it shouldn't click through it. We don't need this. It should only display discard draft post. It shouldn't close the draft post. So I don't know why it closed out of that. But let's create a draft. Let's create a draft to delete and save it. Drafts, edit, select, delete, and delete. Okay, it looks like we might have some more we need to deal with, maybe. Let's see here. Yep. Oh wait, we updated the notification though. We just updated that. Cascade remove. Damn. And that's gonna be like $1,000. So I might as well not even get a console. I updated this, so why? Is this not working? Scroll delete, update delete on table post violates foreign key constraint on table notification. But isn't that what we just updated this for? Might be because of the join column. Note that delete by ID. Interesting. That's an interest. I mean, that kind of makes sense considering that they've been going all in on Game Pass anyway. Because Game Pass basically makes your Game Pass basically makes your PC a Xbox as it is, so it makes sense to me. See if this fixes it. Otherwise, we're going to go through and let's also look at the post. Bro, I remember people used to get that shit for like cheap as hell too. One to many here. Use has a one to many. 1-to-1 for poll. Let's see. I mean, it would make sense to lower it because people are tired of paying for it. They're probably losing sales. People got pissed off that they raised the price. Right? I mean, people just don't have, people are just tired of paying streaming services, to be honest, probably. So, and they're tired of, it's more that people are tired of it going up, because isn't there like 2 or 3 versions of it at this point? There's like Game Pass and there's like Game Pass Ultimate. Try Cascade All, I guess. See what happens. I heard that, like, is there even a point in PlayStation anymore? Well, Game Pass is different than PlayStation, right? But I've heard there's been like some PlayStation exclusives coming to Xbox. I don't know. That's why Steam is kind of just like the GOAT. Because you don't have to have a single, like, you don't have to be locked in. Low key, I feel like console exclusivity is stupid nowadays. Like, just let people play the games that they want to play. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy a console just to play one single game. I'll just miss out on that game or wait until it comes out on Steam. Okay. Is this really gonna be a pain in the ass? That makes sense. I just won't buy the PlayStation and won't play their games. It's not that hard. God damn it, bro. Why will you not delete? It's still notification? It is. But why? I have... Why is this not working? Bring boots any to 1. It all. Don't have a one-to-many on this. want to update my post, bro. Damn. Don't want to have to update my post. I guess in the that's wild. I mean, the PlayStation 5 got expensive, so it makes sense. I don't have to do this. We're gonna do this for like everything. How do I want to do this? Look at our notification service. Do I have a delete notification? I doubt it. Public. I wish I had one near me, to be honest. I want to get an OG Xbox. Delete notification. I'm going to get notification by public notification. Get notification by post. Interesting. Does this already exist? I don't think so. Get all notifications for user. No, okay. I just don't want to pay an arm and a leg, you feel? For original Xbox. I don't even know anywhere to put it. But like, if I get it sooner rather than later, because like I'm sure in the future they're going to be ridiculous. There should be notifications by post. And then this will go ahead and be list notification. Actually, we can say, how do I want to do this? Yeah, let's say public void. Delete post notifications. So then we can go and say notification repository dot. We're gonna need to find all by post. Pass in that post. And then we're gonna go ahead and say notification repository dot delete all. We need to create this find all by post. We might need to say find all by post or reply. Go into the repositories, notification repository. Jeez, that's insane. You can still get them. You can still find them on eBay for like relatively. Find by post or reply. Don't think Yeah, that's not bad. I want to get an Xbox 360 again too. Mine red ringed. No, mine didn't red ring. Mine stopped opening. The disc tray broke in it. So I got rid of it. Probably could have fixed the disc tray, but it is what it is. Honestly, I'll say find by post first. And I'll say list notification find by reply post. I'll make both of them. I don't think I ever played a Dreamcast, to be honest. So we'll say find by post first, and then notification repository dot delete all. The notification repository dot find all by reply. So we need to change that to find all. I don't know if it's gonna work. Should work, but I don't know if it will. But I specifically, that should be fine. Specifically, there's one Xbox game that I want to play. Let's try to do this first. So now notification service dot delete post notifications. We need to get the post. There's a game on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2 that I specifically want to get to play on the Xbox, which I could probably emulate, but it is what it is. It'd be way more fun to play it on real hardware. Should be like get post by ID. That throws an exception for us. They delete fastest post now. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. It's like the game I want to play is not flat out. What is, now I can't think of. Test drive game. Have you ever played any test drive games? Called Eva Destruction. It was like a random ass game I got off Amazon way back in the day. My mom got it for me. And it's like a racing / demolition derby game. It was insanely fun. Trying to delete again. Probably gonna be other issues with this now. Always something that pops up with these damn episodes. There's not an error. There is an error, but I think this is different. I think that worked that time. I don't know why it's closing out of everything though. That's gonna piss me off. Delete private repo or delete private post went through. I think delete selected fulfilled. Update display discard posts. Maybe I should restore. Maybe I should call the restore here. Let's go ahead and whenever we click on draft post modal and let's see here. Let's set a restore point. Whenever we click on this. Don't need that. What am I doing? Let's see. Gonna unselect the deletion, unfortunately. I think we need to, before we do this, dispatch. That game was fun. I didn't have it, but I've played it on other people's consoles. Let's go ahead and save reload point. So I'll have a reload point, and then, but yeah, it's basically like you would buy like a junk car basically and then upgrade it over time. That's in the story mode, and then like go to races, and it was like figure 8 races and like demolition derbies and stuff like that. But I don't know that we need to say at this. I think we can just, but the fun thing was the fun part was like multiplayer. Because you could basically do like 4-person demolition derby split screen with your friends, and like 4-person like figure 8 races with your friends. And like you could like sabotage your friends, like driving backwards on the figure 8 course and stuff. It was so fun. Okay. Create a post to delete. And then there's like this one random ass like event where you could like shoot flying chickens at one another, and if you got hit, you would like go flying through the air. And like instead of, we'd like set up a race that'd go forever basically, and just see how far we could launch each other, literally all night. Okay. So that was a little bit jank, but it worked. So now let's try to delete multiple posts. So let's go into here. Create a post to delete. Save. Create, whoops. Create another post to delete. But yeah, like right now, that game sells for like over $100 on eBay and stuff. It's insane. Edit. Select both of these. Delete. There we go. Both of them are gone. Cool. So there's that. It's a little bit jank when it closes out. I don't know why it's closing out of everything, but I don't really care. Now we can delete the draft post, and that's basically all of the work for this. I'm gonna call this a PR, I think, and start working on, well, I don't know, I might work on the feed post creator. I don't know, I guess. I'd like to get some videos recorded, so I think I'm going to call it. I'm also going to go ahead and call the stream here. I know it's a little bit of a shorter one, but I don't want to jump in anything too big or crazy. So, appreciate you, Nick, for stopping by. Appreciate everyone else for stopping by or watching the VOD. I will be live again on Monday. And then all next week I'll be live. And then after next week, I think, let me look at the calendar. Yeah, all next week, and then all the week after that I'll be live, and then I'll be gone for 3 weeks. So appreciate you all. Have a great day or night or evening, and I'll see you guys next Monday.